There's two questions that rewire reality. What's important about that? And how do you know? Sounds simple, right? Two questions, but holy shit. They're weapon-grade transformation tools, if you actually know how to use them. These questions surgically excavate a person or your own emotional and cognitive foundations. And when wielded right, they crack the shell of habit and pour fire into your neural pathway until they light up with truth. Let's run it. Here's how you already do this but don't realise. You're watching a movie and get goosebumps. Your friend's like, why that scene? You say, it just reminds me of how much I want to make a difference. Boom. That's you asking, what's important about that? To yourself, without knowing it. Or a friend says, I can't trust people. And you go, how do you know? They say, because everyone's let me down. Guess what? You just dropped into their belief system like a fucking ninja, accessed their emotional data warehouse. You do this naturally, when you're not scared, when you're curious, when your ego isn't in the way. Here's what science says about why this works. It taps the limbic system. That's the emotional brain. When you ask what's important, you're lighting up the emotional driver circuitry. That's where decisions actually come from. It engages the medial prefrontal cortex. That's where personal meaning and narrative sit. You're literally helping someone re-edit the movie of their life. It creates cognitive dissonance. The brain goes, wait, I never thought of it like that. That's the confusion gap. It's the open window to plant a new belief. Here's how to do it in ways you haven't tried yet. Ask it inward, often, repeatedly. Why am I scared to post this? What's important about that fear? How do I know it's true? Most fears vanish the second that you stare them in the face and ask them to explain themselves. Embed in metaphors. Instead of saying, why are you afraid? Tell a story. You know how a dog barks loudest when it's behind a fence it doesn't believe it can cross? Yep, that's your belief barking. Confusion pattern created, truth bomb deployed. Use them as pattern interrupts. When someone says I'm not ready, don't argue, just drop. How do you know? Then stay silent. Their brain will scramble. Let the pause do the work. That's neuro-linguistic ambush. Here's why you're afraid to use this power. You're scared of what you'll uncover. You're scared people will think you're too much. You're scared of being seen as manipulative instead of healing. Let me say this loud for the spiritual people in the back. Truth is not manipulation, it's liberation. What's manipulative is letting someone stay in their suffering because you're too afraid to risk the discomfort of truth. Own your fire. Here's why this is so important. Because without this, you're just reacting. Because without this, your inner child is still driving the damn bus. Because this is how you break patterns so deep. They've been passed down like genetic trauma. You think your beliefs are yours. Try again. Most of what you think is true. It's just repetition dressed up as identity. These questions fuck up the loop. They break the trance. And when the trance is broken, guess what? You're free. Here are the top patterns to destroy with this method. I'm not enough. How do you know? It's too late for me. What's important about believing that? I always get rejected. What if the pattern is not rejection? It's your nervous system filtering the danger. I don't want to be a burden. What makes you believe your needs are weight instead of value? Each one of these is a doorway. Walk through it or stay stuck. Here's how to pace and lead like a king. You don't barge into people's minds. You earn your way in. You start by meeting them where they are. Pace. It makes sense you feel overwhelmed. There's a lot happening. Then lead. And maybe inside that overwhelm is a message. Not a warning, but a signal that you're outgrowing the old operating system. And pace. You've been burned before. You don't want to risk again. Lead. But isn't it worse to stay cold your whole life, just to avoid the chance of being burned? That's not manipulation. That's compassion with a spine. If you actually start living this, you walk through life with X-ray vision. Every time someone complains, you hear the value they're projecting. Every time someone argues, you'll hear the fear that's talking. Every time you hesitate, you stop treating that as truth and start treating it as a belief that you can upgrade. You stop arguing with people's symptoms and you start speaking directly to their soul. You'll become unfuckwithable. Not because life stops throwing bullshit, because you have got the internal coding tools to rebuild yourself on command. The belief system that you're installing now. I'm not here to play nice. I'm here to play real. Every belief I hold is optional. I don't ask to be understood. I learn to understand. I lead with truth, not comfort. I use language like a scalpel, not a shield. I break patterns. I break rules. I break cycles. My presence reframes reality. And I do not apologize for being the wake-up call that people didn't know they needed. If you're still here, it means part of you is fucking done pretending. So here's the call. Keep asking. Keep confusing. Keep breaking open. Keep leading.